You got to speak, man. This is not a time to clam up, and not a time to get frightened. You have to do what you have to do. This is dire. I just want to express it in a positive way. I want to turn everything painful into art.
You react to the pipe bombs. Are you afraid personally ever?
Apparently, I was threatened on Twitter, so I don't know. I didn't see the thing. I heard there was some severed goat head, and I'll see you soon kind of thing.
Jim Carrey isn't whispering anymore. This clip right here, that's not comedy, that's urgency. The kind of voice you hear from someone who's watched things fall apart and decided he can't stay quiet. You hear the emotion in his tone. It's shaky, unfiltered, and real. He's not performing, he's pleading with the public to open their eyes before it's too late. The goofy guy from The Mask, that guy's gone. This is a man on the edge of something bigger. A man who's traded in punchlines for alarm bells. But the craziest part, this all started with art, a paintbrush, a canvas, and an idea. If the world's going to hell, at least make sure someone draws it. And when he mentions a severed goat head, that's not a gag, that's a real threat he received. That's the cost of speaking up in today's polarized America. For decades, Carrey was untouchable. Rubber-faced, box office gold, Hollywood royalty. But when he turned political, he became something else entirely, a target. And what's wild is, he knew exactly what that meant. He stepped into the fire with both eyes open, and he hasn't flinched. He's not just talking about himself, he's challenging us, telling viewers, you have to speak, you can't sit this out. And in today's media-saturated world where celebrities dodge real opinions to keep their brands clean, Carrey's standing alone with a megaphone, daring you to care.
I can break bread with anybody in this country. I love people in this country. I love the heartland of this country. It has nothing to do with that. These really negative forces like the Steve Bannons of the world are convincing us that we're separate, that we're not the same country, that there's two countries. There's not two countries. It has to do with, it's become obvious that the choice was a bad one. We just need to change it. And if you can't vote for a Democrat, at least let all this flood of information that's so negative and so obvious keep you home.
This clip hits different because Jim isn't yelling. He's not even trying to be clever. He's just honest. And in 2025, that's rare. He talks about the heartland, not with disdain, but with love. That's key. Carrey's not attacking Americans. He's pointing at the people manipulating them. People like Steve Bannon feeding fear and dividing the country for power. And he's saying what so many are too afraid to admit. The real danger isn't who we voted for. It's that we were lied to so effectively, we turned against each other. Think about that. Carrey's one of the most famous comedians in the world. He could stay safe, play neutral, collect royalty checks. Instead, he's risking everything to speak to the humanity underneath the politics. He doesn't want war between red and blue. He wants accountability. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're different. He's talking directly to people who voted for Trump, and instead of mocking them, he's offering them a bridge. That's not liberal elite energy. That's actual courage. And this is why Jim's message connects. Because even when he's furious at what's happening, he never forgets why people made those choices. He's not here to divide. He's here to expose the ones who already have.
It's hard to understand what's going on. I mean, I really, 1 minute you feel like, oh my gosh, this is going to be, now the landslide's going to start. And then there'll be some other weaselly little, sidestep they do. You can make a bad decision about a candidate. It's not who you are. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're different. It doesn't mean, the trouble with what's happening right now is this administration is a rabid dog, and it's turning us upside down. And all, as far as I'm concerned, it's as obvious as the nose on your face.
A rabid dog. 3 words that broke the internet and slammed open the next phase of Carrey's transformation. And notice how he delivers it. Calm, measured, but with that intensity in his eyes. This wasn't a rant, it was a diagnosis. He's not saying the administration is bad, he's saying it's dangerous, out of control, sick, like something that's infected the system and turned it hostile to truth, to compassion, to basic decency. That's why this moment went viral, because it wasn't funny, it was true. Jim had been warning people in art, interviews, Instagram posts, but this moment hit different. Suddenly, people weren't just watching him draw Trump as a witch. They were listening to what he meant. And when he says, it's obvious as the nose on your face, That's not just shade, that's frustration. Because to him, and to many watching, the damage is clear. But the world keeps pretending everything's fine. It's this dissonance between how bad things are and how numb people seem that's pushing Carrey to shout louder, to risk more, to speak, even when his career could take the hit. Because at this point, he doesn't care about being liked. He cares about being heard.
Trump is toast.
And so you just kind of digest the news of the day.
It's an affirmation.
I'm glad some good is coming out of this stuff. This is Robert Mueller.
Robert Mueller putting the squeeze on the president. That's Space Force.
That's the Space Force, yeah.
That's the beginning of Space Force. That's right.
The phrase Trump is toast might sound like a punchline, but the metaphor runs deep, burnt, overdone, finished. That's the message Carrey is sending, plain and simple. The man who once made cartoons of chaos is now watching it collapse in real time, and he's documenting every second. Carrey knows the power of symbols. He's not just trying to insult Trump. He's trying to bury him in metaphor. From witches to toast to flying monkeys, Jim's entire anti-Trump campaign is built like a living political cartoon, but with stakes that are deadly serious. And here's where it gets strategic. He's not screaming. He's smiling. Calm, sarcastic. A man watching a house burn that he's been warning people about for years. He even throws in Space Force like a punchline, because he knows how the headlines work. Every time Trump was on the ropes, a distraction would show up, but Carrey, he kept sketching through the smoke. He knew the day would come when the distractions wouldn't be enough, and in this clip you can feel it, that satisfaction that the truth is finally breaking through. But the real question now isn't whether Trump is toast, it's whether anyone's willing to admit it.
Makes me feel good.
When you were a kid, would you draw caricatures of your friends, etc.?
I did. I drew pictures of my teacher.
Oh, really?
And I don't
How'd
have
that
any of
go
those
over?
with me. She actually stole. Wow, look at this. I can do anything with it. Not working. Oh, they got you coming and going, man. You know what I mean?
That is remarkable, I have to say.
Incredible transformation.
It is an incredible transformation. Who was the teacher
Watch
you
this.
drew? Oh, yeah, all right. All right.
This might seem like a light moment, Carrey cracking jokes about drawing teachers as a kid, but under it, there's a full circle transformation happening, because those sketches, that's where it all started. A kid doodling in class, figuring out how to capture the world with a pencil and a grin, and now he's using those same skills to call out corruption, power, and the destruction of truth in America, and people noticed. Twitter exploded. Trump supporters labeled him bitter, angry, irrelevant. Liberal fans called him a hero, and just like that, the entire country split over a comedian's opinion. That's what makes Carrey different. He's not just another celebrity yelling from behind a screen. He's an artist, and every joke, every painting, every rant is deliberate. He's using metaphors that even people who hate politics can understand. Trump as toast, Trump as a witch, not because it's funny, but because it cuts through the noise. And he's not doing it to go viral. He's doing it because he genuinely believes democracy is in danger. And if the only way to warn people is by painting breakfast food and uploading it to Instagram, then so be it. Carrey's evolution didn't ruin his legacy, it redefined it. He's no longer just the guy who made us laugh. He's the guy who's trying to make us think. Love him or hate him, you're paying attention. And that's the point, because in Jim Carrey's world, the truth isn't a punchline anymore. It's a lifeline, and he's not putting down the brush anytime soon.